going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit earlier, the producer over at EA Dice, Alexia Christofi, actually held a discussion about the server browser within Battlefield 6. I was going to go ahead and push this back to tomorrow's video with, obviously how well the current video is already doing for today, and I'm really glad you guys have been enjoying the content. As always, we're going to continuously try to pump out as much information about Battlefield, COD, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, all of the above. But I had to push this one out to a second upload because, my goodness, the community's reaction to this overall post here is absolutely insane. The drama has been just completely flying. Now, some critiques I can understand, but others I feel like are just completely over the top. But let's go ahead and begin with the post itself by Alexia here, saying, I'm going to talk about our server browser later today. But first, I want to understand everyone's reasons for wanting a server browser, so I can make sure I explain what we're doing effectively. What is it about a server browser that's important to you lot? And of course, under this post, the whole community was listing all of their ideas, all of their reasons for why they think a server browser is great for the Battlefield experience. And I think Alexia, in the list here, kind of summarized it all. Alexia says, feels like your most important things are persistent servers, a sense of community and a way to play together, being able to choose specific maps/modes, being able to filter by ping/server fullness, and support for low pop regions. More to share on this in the future, but I think our server browser solution answers all these wants. Yes, it's via portal and shows community experiences, but these can award full XP, will be front and center in our main menu, not hidden, and will allow you to filter and search for specific things you want. Again, more to share on this in the future, but seeing all your replies, I think what we have caters to the majority of use cases. We can talk more about why it feels like it's not enough at a later date, which I'm really happy that they're still going to continuously stay open about this topic and, keep talking about why they're doing certain changes, what's going on behind the scenes. I think that's very important and crucial, especially with how the community has been responding so far. As you can see right here as well, Alexi put out a post saying, I always know when something I've posted gets shared to Reddit because that's when the you don't know anything gang comes out. I engage with the community not because I don't know the answers to what I'm asking, but often because people's feedback varies from person to person. If every time a dev engages with a discussion and they're met with, wow, it's concerning you don't know the answers to this already, instead of it's just being a community conversation in good faith, people might just stop interacting. I completely agree with this. I've been stating this for ages now. Reddit is the most toxic environment in the world. For every game I have ever covered, that community just goes to town. Not everybody, of course. I've met a lot of great people through Reddit, and I still enjoy, using it to find discussions and, see topics, what people are, discussing at the time. But man, it is just filtered with the most toxic of toxic people. I can go anywhere, again, on Twitter, YouTube comments for all these different games, and it'll be a completely different experience. But then you go over to Reddit, and it just, the whole world shifts, and just everything becomes different. I just feel so bad because I know a lot of people, I've seen it myself, a lot of people are coming at Alexia's neck, and I just don't think for good enough reasons. I just really hope that at some point down the road, the community doesn't become so toxic that DICE feels the need to just, again, stay silent and just don't bother, put your heads down, just do what you gotta do. I love when development teams bring the community into the process of putting together the game, and that's what we're getting right now. So hopefully people can give their opinions respectfully, right? Now, I do want to state, I understand where a lot of people are coming from with the server browser, and I am indeed on Team Server Browser. I think it builds a sense of community that allows you to play on all the different maps in the rotation instead of just being thrown into the same map over and over and over again. I feel like sometimes it can manage the cheaters a bit better, unless you have some, feisty admins that just boot anybody who is potentially better. That's when it becomes, really obnoxious. And being able to filter out my ping is probably the most crucial factor. Being able to find the best connection and being able to play on that all the time is crucial for Battlefield, especially when you're playing on maps that are pretty dang big and there's going to be some decently long engagements, not all the time, but a good portion of the time. You don't want bullets sponging around 24/7. Not even, forget about ranges. Let's talk about vehicles and tanks and choppers and all of the above. You want the best connection possible. So yeah, I get it. I understand where everybody's coming from. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I mean, Alexia literally said that the, Portal server browser does all of that, probably plus more. I'm going to show it one last time. She stated persistent servers, a sense of community and a way to play together, being able to choose specific map/modes, being able to filter by ping/server fullness, and support for low population regions. And she said that the Portal literally does all of this. All of these things that we have been kind of, worried about are literally resolved within Portal. I guess the only difference right now is that it's not labeled server browser. It's labeled Portal. And people are still giving her a lot of crap right now, to be honest with you guys. As I stated, the community is kind of up in arms still. But I'll be honest, from my perspective, I'm kind of willing to give it a shot. If it can do everything that we are requesting right now, then I don't really see too much of an issue. I think Portal within Battlefield 2042 wasn't successful because, again, it just was trash at launch. And 2, Battlefield 2042 did not have the population to even go ahead and maintain such a thing, right? But if Battlefield 6 is, just simply a good game, people like it, people enjoy it, people want to come in and, witness the experience. If it can keep a solid population, then we're not going to run into those issues that we had with the first version of Portal. And it seems that Portal 2.0 is a much more enhanced, version of that. We'll be able to have all of the above. And I understand people want official servers, right? They want the official EA servers. They want to hop into those and play. But why can't we make our own? You see what I'm saying here? Like, you don't technically need EA official servers to do exactly that. Why don't you just go ahead and make a server that has all the official rule sets? All the official maps, the official settings, so on and so forth, and you can open it up in Portal and people can, go ahead and hop into this. What's holding people back from that? That's what I'm currently thinking right now. You know what I'm saying here? What is holding people back? That's what people want, so why can't we just go ahead and create it and then go ahead and populate it? And if it doesn't populate, then I'm assuming people just don't care that much about having a server browser as people, really are pushing it to seem. Although, like I said, I think the server browser is crucial. But if a lot of people think just like me, and we all think the server browser is crucial, then what's holding us back as a community from doing exactly that? Making official servers with official settings and rules that are normal, and you could play the game in a server browser with persistent, servers, not having to get booted, or you can even go ahead and put on specific maps that you personally enjoy, or if people, prefer vehicle-only lobbies, since, some of the maps might not have jets, or some of them might not even have helicopters, and that's all people want to play, put together a server with extra vehicles. There's the possibilities are endless, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Portal 2.0. And on top of all of that, you're not even going to be losing out on XP. You're going to get the normal rate of XP as you would if you go into the public match playlist. So again, it doesn't seem too shabby, but I think what's making the community a little stressed out right now is just we still haven't seen anything, right? We've only seen a little snippet of what Portal 2.0 is going to look like, and it was, a bunch of cool, funny-looking creations. But we didn't really get to actually see the browser itself, all the features, all the fine details. And I think that's what's stressing everyone out. They probably think you can't find or filter through all the settings to make sure you can fine-tune the exact match that you want, although it seems that is the direction that DICE is going, but we still have no proof. And that's understandable, and I can understand why people are a little salty about this, It's one of the main reasons why I think that Battlefield 6 is getting more love than previous years, is because we saw gameplay for months on end, right? So it allows people to have a different viewpoint on it compared to just people talking. And the same thing here. We haven't seen it. It's just a bunch of talking right now. And, you can't blame people for not wanting to fold to such a thing. They need proof. And I think when proof is presented, then we can actually probably, get some more good opinions out there and critiques. But until then, I'm still a little optimistic about it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It seems like it's still going to allow us to do what, everything that we want within a server browser. And it seems like they wanted to be on the front page so people can access it very easily. And on top of that, they're still extremely open to discuss things in the future and bounce things, which is great. And they've already proven to us many times before that they are willing to, change things in the game if the community is not happy with the outcome. So if they do present Portal 2.0 and they, what we see is something that we don't like the options, who knows? If we can present our criticism respectfully, I have to put a huge emphasis on that respectfully, we might be able to get those changes that people want. But if we're just going to keep bashing and bashing and bashing without actually giving good constructive criticism, and people have to understand the difference between constructive criticism and just crapping on something. But if we can't give that, then, they might just go ahead and ditch the whole concept, ditch, the community, all of our feedback, and just go about their own way and handle things the way they want to go ahead and handle it. And I don't think we want to see that ever again, right? I'm pretty positive a lot of us in this community are on the same page that we want it to be community focused. So again, let's chill out. Let's take all this information in bit by bit and express it. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this overall portal system. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Again, I shared my opinion, but my opinion might be completely false. They can go ahead and reveal Portal 2.0 right now, and everything I just stated is completely wrong. But I'm just going based off of, what they're saying here. It seems like all the points that we have addressed, whether it's persistent servers, the ping, low population areas, the list goes on. Everything we have requested seems to be pinpointed for Portal. When I hear Portal, I think it's just a rebranded version of Server Browser. But only time will tell, and when we see, like I said, we can critique from there on out. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. Post your daily at 8 morning Eastern Time. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, and obviously, if more games come out in the future that I personally enjoy, I'll probably discuss it on this channel. So if you guys are interested in any of that content, and you also want to go ahead and stay up to date for the double uploads that we sometimes post over here, don't forget, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.